But here, on the very rim of known space, justice is a long way away.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Space Game Junkie podcast. I, as always, am your co-host, Brian, and joining me, as always, is your co-host, Spaz.
Currently boarding another spacer ship.
Your co-host, Julie.
Hello from the great north where it's getting colder.
I'm sorry. It's getting colder here, too, but that means a completely different thing. Your co-host, Thorsten.
Still alive.
Yay! What? Oh, your co-host, Jacob.
I live. Sorry.
That's
no
fine. You don't have to always have a clever quote. We always appreciate it when you do, but no pressure. You don't always have to have one. And your co-host, David.
Yeah, present.
Aren't we all? So, folks, this we have a topic this week, and it was my idea. On Mondays, if I don't know if you watch our streams regularly, but on Monday I've usually set aside for a space game because it's Space Game Junkie. So I set aside at least one day a week for space games. And this time we've been diving into the Viceroy, which is this crazy space economic strategy thing that came out in 2015, 2016, I think. And it got me thinking, what other games are tucked in the bowels of our Steam libraries that we don't talk about as much or we don't play as much because they're older? I don't know about you, but my Steam library is huge and there are just so many games in there. And it's easy to forget about games that you might have played a while back that were awesome that you sometimes tell people about. And it's like, oh yeah, I should go back and see if that's still great or I can recommend it because I know it's still great. And so I thought we'd talk about games that might have been forgotten to the sands of time that we're going to talk about today. And
there's a lot of these.
There's a
Good
lot.
Grief.
There's a lot. Oh my God.
I thought of making a list, a written down list, and then I realized, no, I just need to open my Steam library and scroll down. And I have enough material for basically an entire hour of speaking.
Yeah, exactly. You can
Same for me.
Yeah, we tried to stick with an exception or two. We tried to stick to games released in the last decade or so. We didn't want to go back too far, but that's still a lot of games. And so I think my first pick is very emblematic of this. I want to talk a little bit about Iron Sky Invasion, which came out 11 years ago in 2012, if you can believe that.
So we're already a bit over the time.
Like I said, there are a couple of exceptions, but like I said, this game, if you guys haven't played it, it's an excellent game.
It's better than it has any right to be.
It has no right to be as good, considering it's a tie-in game to a mediocre comedy film.
I didn't even like the movie. I couldn't finish it. I couldn't finish the movie. I'm like, this is not fun.
Okay.
This is not funny.
I mean, I personally liked it, but it falls firmly in the guilty pleasure, and I don't know why I like this, but I think it's kind of neat category.
Yeah, I feel like I should revisit it. But Iron Sky Invasion, you guys, it's basically like a Star Raiders clone. Basically, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically you're in a ship and you have a real-time map and there's stuff going on the map and you have to jump around the map to deal with these attacks. And there's different ships you can fly, there's light fighters and heavy bombers. There's an upgrade mechanic where you can upgrade new weapons and things like that. There's a scrap mechanic where if you find scrap, you can sell it to buy new upgrades. And it's all in real time, so the map is always moving and changing, so you're jumping around all over the place. It's ridiculously fun. It's also really well made, and the controls are great. The gamepad controls are really fantastic, and it's actually you wouldn't think a game based on like Jacob said, a mediocre movie would be this good, but it is really, really good, and it's got a lot of gameplay. Basically, if you're unaware, in Iron Sky, there's a bunch of Nazis hanging out on the dark side of the moon. And
which is always a great setup for a film.
Yeah, and they basically invade with their space blimps, their space zeppelins. And so in the game,
space UFOs.
Yeah, in the game, if you have all the DLC, not only can you play one fighter, which is the Star Raiders kind of bit, one of the DLCs gives you like control of the fleet, so you can move. So it turns it kind of into a real-time strategy game, but you also control the individual fighters still. So you're jumping around the map, you're moving things around the map, but you're still jumping into your own. It's really hectic and great, crazy. And there's another DLC that lets you play as the Moon Nazis, which is more fun than you'd expect.
Long pause. Okay.
Right,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying it's a good DLC. So yeah, this is a game that's easily forgotten because it came out in 2012 and it was based on a movie that, was all right. And but the game is really, really, it's got a lot of gameplay to it. It's got a lot of really good gameplay to it. It's fun to play. The combat is great. The variety of weapons are great. The graphics are actually, for a Topware game, especially because you think of Topware, you think kind of like shovelware,
oh goodness, yes.
I don't even know if they still exist, Topware. I don't even think they still exist anymore. But for years, Topware, when you saw Topware, you're like, oh, this is the kind of game you'd buy in a CD bargain bin for $3 at CompUSA back in 1998.
They have been liquidated in 2010.
Okay, so sure, so this might be one of their final games. So yeah, when you think of Topware, you don't think of like anything really good or memorable, but this is actually a really good game that I think I want to revisit. I was like, I wanted to make sure it still ran and everything before I recommended it, so I loaded it up this morning and I lost track of time just playing the tutorial. I was like, I'm having so much fun. I'm like, whoops. Okay.
Topware didn't really. Topware was primarily a publisher.
Yeah.
And the big thing is they were the publishers of a lot of, like, they were the primary publishers for Poland for, like, a lot of games, including the Emergency series and.
Emergency, yeah.
And so,
X.
Oh God, the Earth.
21X.
Yeah.
Jagged Alliance 2.
Yeah, they were so inconsistent with the stuff they published.
because they just publish anything that someone went by, because they were like one of the 2 publishing houses in this country. So they just got half of everything that was released ever.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. But yeah, like I said, this Iron Sky game, you guys, get it if you don't have it, get it when it goes on sale. There's a lot of fun gameplay here. It still looks good. And it's so fun to play that I'm just very pleasantly surprised at how good this game still is. And I'm definitely going to revisit it on our Mondays at some point once we get to it, because I think it'll be fun. So yeah, that is my first pick for a game that's like really old, that's forgotten to the sands of time, but is still sold and worth playing today. That's kind of what I wanted to get to, is that there are a lot of games lost to the, because God, how many games come out on Steam every day? 60, 80, something like it's a ridiculous number. It's a ridiculous number of games that come out every day on Steam. So it's easy to forget that some games exist. It's easy to forget that this game came out a year ago or 6 years ago or 12 years ago. Excuse me. So that's I feel like this game is really emblematic of what I wanted to talk about today. It's so good. It's really, really good. So yeah, put it on your wish list if you haven't gotten it already. It goes on sale with a fair amount of regularity. I think it's like in just about every Steam sale it goes on sale. And there's a lot of gameplay here. Huh? What was that?
Typically, yeah, it goes on sale with the Steam sales.
Yeah, and there's a lot of gameplay here because the campaign is pretty long, and then you have the 2 DLCs, which add basically their own campaigns, basically. So there's a lot of gameplay here. So yeah, definitely check that one out. So, Julie, looking back in the sands of time, what would you say your first? Spaz, we'll go with you first. I apologize, Spaz. What is your first pick for looking back through the forgotten sands of your Steam library?
Well, my first pick came out in 2017.
Ooh,
and we had the dev on the podcast. So this game is great. it's fallen under the cracks for a lot of people because it's one of those that was inspired by FTL and
There's a lot of those.
First person perspective, which is one thing that makes it really different.
Oh, is this the game? Oh, I wonder if this is what I'm thinking of. Yes. That game.
Starship Command Simulator.
Oh God, that game was great. And the developer, what a great developer. Probably one of our most fun shows because that guy was a delight. That guy was an absolute delight.
The game is regular price $4. So now you can get it if you really want to. It's still a steal at that regular price.
Hilarious enough, I somehow don't have it, I think, because at the time I was completely flatline broke and then forgot about it. So yeah, I'll get it.
It's so worth $4. It's worth twice that. It's worth
So things about this game that set it apart for the time. First person perspective, you could board ships, take them over, kill their crew, and then commandeer them yourself. You could upgrade your ships. You could go through a whole bunch of text-based choices with the with just logs that you would find, and
giant alien spiders are no joke.
Well, there's that too. Yeah, it's a great little game that just we don't talk about much anymore, just because other games have come along the way, and I think it's been forgotten.
Which is a shame because it's really great and it's funny. It's such a funny game. Like
very well written. Yeah.
Very, very well written. Yeah. And he's only made 2 games, this guy. His last was in 2019. Above Earth, which I'd completely forgotten about. Oh yeah, I only played an hour of it because it was scary as hell now that I'm remembering. But yeah, Icarus is a great, again, a very emblematic pick of the topic for today because it came out 6 years ago. Yeah, 6 years ago. God, and that is in video game time. That might as well be an eon. You might as well be moving from the Mesozoic to the Theolithic or whatever the eons are called. Like that is an eon.
3 years ago, anything beyond 3 years ago feels like decades ago.
It does. It does.
All too true.
That's how gaming has always worked. And 6 years ago feels like a lifetime. I mean, this came out before I was married. That's how long ago this game came out. My God. But that is a fantastic pick, Spaz. Wow. I forgot about this one and I really enjoyed this one. I have several hours in this one. I really enjoyed this one. And,
oh yeah, I've got 18 hours in it myself.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, guys. Yeah. This game is definitely worth $4. It's gone down to $1, but even at $4, it's freaking worth it because it's basically first person funny FTL, you know,
which all of these things are great.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, they are.
It is a great game. It is I think the only downside to it, if there is one, is like there are times where like I wish I could play with other people because I don't want to do all this by myself. But that's it. That's it. I mean, it does single player really well. So, yeah, that it is I forgot about that one. Good pick, Spaz. Really, really, really good pick.
Talking about Icarus Starship Command Simulator, Jose.
And Jose, the game that's on stream is Iron Sky Invasion. So yeah, Icarus. Oh, what a good pick. What a good pick. Oh my God. What a great pick. Well done, Spaz. Well done. I'm kind of in awe at that pick because I'm like, that's perfect. That's exactly what I was. That's exactly the type of thing I was going for
this
show. That's bullseye. Just freaking barbecue sauce. All right. Well done. All right, Julie. I apologize. I mentioned you before, Spaz. And that's not how I wanted to go. So, Julie, what is your first pick?
Well, My game is not as exciting as Nazis from the Dark Side of the Moon. My game, um, and not as unknown as some of my other choices, but I don't have a lot of little nobody's heard of it games. And just to please or take off other people on the podcast, it's also on Switch. It was made in 2007 created by Kim Swift, who works with Valve Corporation, published by Valve, Microsoft Game Studios, and a lot of people have heard of it, but I chose it for a reason, and the game is Portal. Now, ironically, I have claustrophobia. Better or worse, at some point in my life, I've felt trapped in my shoes if they're tie-up shoes. But I loved this game. And the reason I chose it is because at the time it was, as Luke said, who was listening to the podcast, kind of like the flip side. It came in the orange box. And I played, as I think I mentioned before, I played the other game in the orange box, Half-Life. It was a gift. And I got stuck in the water-filled basement and couldn't get past it, and people have said, "Oh, hey, why didn't you just Google it?" I said, "Why didn't I think of that?" Well, there was no Google help at the time, and then I said, "Well, what's this other game?" And I said, "This is fantastic." I had great fun with the physics. It's a fantastic puzzle platformer, and the mechanic has been stolen by all kinds of other games, and even in the latest Dungeons and Dragons movie, you can call it a hither thither staff if you want, but it's still
that was great. Side note, I love that movie so much. I cannot get enough of that movie.
It was a fantastic movie, but as soon as I saw the Portal, I said,
"Oh God, yeah."
Oh, they had their staff, but it's the Portal guy.
Let's just say they know their audience. The people who made that movie, they know their audience, because I'm sure the whole audience, when they did that, like, "Oh my God, Portal!"
Oh my God, Portal, and it was a fantastic movie. So, and this game is one of these things that's now on just about everything from Android, and I used to play it on Android originally, and my Google Android thing went the way of all things because of programmed obsolescence, and now it's on PC and on where I play it, and it's also on Switch.
What's the name of the engine that game uses, that Half-Life uses? It's a specific engine.
Source.
Oh, right. And like Titanfall, I think, uses that engine, and a few other games.
Yes, somehow.
It's a pretty good engine from what I understand.
Yes. Even though, if I'm perfectly honest, it's a modified Quake 2 engine.
That's fair.
It's a Quake 2 engine with aspirations, and the fact that it has survived this long is an absolute miracle.
And Portal 2 is even better, which is also on Switch as well as on PC. And I haven't got the wherewithal.
But that one's everyone's heard of, so...
And that one's everyone's heard of. And I will finish my little section here by pointing out that, yes, it may be a spoiler, but the cake is real.
I don't do puzzle games very well, so I never finished any of the Portal games. I tried them both, and I'm like, nah, I don't have the patience for this. This is not for me. Rather than get mad at it, I just stopped playing, which happens a lot, actually. That's a good pick. That's a really good pick, because Portal was a big deal, but like, you don't hear it come up a lot. So I'd say it's a good pick. I'd say it's viable for the topic.
I liked it because even though Ms. Swift works for a very large publisher and developer, it's just like one person did it. So there you go. She created it, and what for its time, what a creative little puzzle thing, because I don't think there was an equivalent back then of something that was like that. And I just love the physics of it, trying to figure out where everything goes. And in the new version, at one point, you think you're outside, and then it turns out you're not outside. So, yes.
Well, my favorite things about those games is J.K. Simmons as the head of the corporation. I don't remember the name of the corporation, but
Aperture Science.
Aperture Science. Yeah, I've listened to a YouTube supercut of all of his lines from Portal 2. That's what I basically know.
Oh, that's
of it,
Cave
'cause-
Johnson.
Yeah, Cave Johnson. Chariots.
Combustible lemons.
I mean, I love J.K. Simmons so much. I'm like, oh, I didn't know he was in this game. I have to listen to all this. And oh my God.
When he's not selling farmers insurance or doing movies, he's doing voiceovers.
And good on him. He's got
Yeah, he's got a very prolific voice acting career as well as his on-screen stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great voice actor. Great guy too, but oh my God, his stuff in Portal 2 just kills me every time I listen to it. Oh my God.
I usually watch, like, if it's a television series or a movie, I'll watch it just because he's in it and I like his voice.
I couldn't get in that movie where he was like a band leader in a school. That was traumatic. Like I had to turn that one off. What's that movie called? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Where he was like,
I know which one, but
No.
I forgot the name.
Slap.
I haven't seen it myself though.
Yeah, I only got like 20, 30 minutes of it because like it triggered so much like abusive trauma from my childhood. I'm like, I can't watch this. I want to hate J.K. Simmons because of this movie. What was that movie called? Anyway, but you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, good pick. Thorsten, do you have a pick?
Yeah, of course I have a pick.
Yay!
I've got more picks than you could handle in 2 or 3 shows. And I could do that shows alone.
Oh man.
Well, okay, my first pick would be a game from 2012, and it's quite a take on a relatively much older game, and that is Lunar Flight.
Oh God. Right. Oh God. Oh, that thing. Oh. I both love and I'm gonna be honest, I love and hate that game because it is so hard.
Yes.
It is so hard. I don't think I ever passed the first level.
It's really hard. For those who don't know this game, it's actually a take on the old game Lunar Lander. Yes, that one from the late 70s, early 80s, and it has really good physics. It has VR support. You can fly on the moon on several maps, and there's also 1 or 2 Mars maps, if I recall it right, with winds on Mars. That makes the game even more difficult. And honestly, I occasionally still take it out and play it, even if it's only for 20 minutes or so. But I really like it, and
yeah, I can't knock it. Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, it's as Brian said, it's very, very hard.
Oh my God.
But I'm still fascinated by it, and I did wish that the dev would continue developing it, or make a Lunar Flight 2 or something like that.
That was their only game, it looks like. Like they don't have any other
No,
games.
he tried to make a second game, but that didn't take off.
Oh. Wow.
I followed him quite a while. But
you guys, it got a patch earlier this year. Did you know that? It got a patch in May.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, good on that guy. My God. Oh God, it's got VR. Oh no. I don't think I could do this game in VR.
Yes.
Oh God.
I actually tried it. I actually tried it with one of my handy apps in VR, and it works pretty good.
Oh, I don't know if I could do this in VR. Oh God. Oh man, I usually don't get motion sick in VR, but I could easily see myself getting motion sick in that game.
Oh yes,
I feel like you could get motion sick in that game without VR.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%. Oh my God. No, folks, if you haven't played this game and you have any memory of Lunar Lander, do yourself a favor and pick it up when it's on sale. It, like we said, it's brutally hard, but what the developer has managed to achieve with this game with random missions. It's got multiplayer, it's got VR and track IR support. It's really an impressive. This is again a great emblematic pick for this topic. Good job, Thorsten. Great pick. Yeah, this is a great pick that I had forgotten about because it hates me. No, I don't think it hates me. It's just I'm terrible at it. Like I think if this is the only game I played for a year, maybe I'd get okay at it, but it's so difficult. But you guys, it's so good. Really. And he's still updating it. Apparently it's playable on Steam Deck.
Wow.
But yeah, he's still updating. Good on him. Good on the.
I don't think. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, we actually, on the other podcast, we actually interviewed Sean Edwards when the game first came out, and I'm really surprised how long this game has stuck around and how successful for such a simple concept. That it really is, that it's a fun little game.
Yeah, it's basically an updated Lunar Lander, and Lunar Lander was a very simple concept that he basically it's impressive that he kept the core of the gameplay so pure, but just added goodness to it, but that didn't dilute it, if that makes any sense. Like it's such a good game. Oh, that is an excellent pick, Thorsten. Well done. That is a great. I'd completely forgotten about this game, but y'all put this on your wish list if you don't have it already. I don't think I have a curator review for it. Oh, I should fix that. Yeah, I am just so bad at this game. But how do I not own it? I've played it. How do I not own it? I have played this game. Maybe he gave me a separate build that wasn't on Steam. Okay, I'm going to have to buy it myself now.
I've got the same problem. I went back and tried to find this game, and I said it's not my Steam library, and I know I played it, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I know I've played this also, but apparently it's not in my library for some reason.
Julie, I've asked you about it only 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I tried, and after that conversation, I tried to find it, and I couldn't find it. I don't know what happened to it.
Well, good on the developer for still updating it. That's an impressive track record of updating this game. My God, yeah, no, he's been updating it consistently. Look at that. Good on him. Really, that's wow. Yeah, there were a few years where it didn't get any updates. It looks like, but damn. Wow. All right, good pick, Thorsten. Really, really good pick. Jacob, what do you got?
Well, I have a lot of options here and a lot of ideas, but I'm gonna go with a game we've actually covered, or Brian has already covered on this channel. Delightful little title called Scavenger SV4.
Oh God!
That was on my list.
Nightmares.
Well, apologies for stealing the limelight off you, but I absolutely love that game because
so good.
I love games that genuinely let me go to a place and explore what feels like an alien environment. And the thing is, that's very difficult to do with big games because big games have like wikis and communities that keep spoiling everything and stuff like that. So it's very difficult to just have a game where you go to a place, you don't know what's going on, but also one that's accessible enough that you don't just bump your head against a wall for 17 hours straight, not sure what you're doing. Scavenger SV4 is fundamentally a game about experimentation. You have a ship, you have a little rover, you send it down onto a heavily irradiated alien planet, and you recover as much stuff from that alien planet as you can before you either leave or die of radiation poisoning, whichever comes first. It is an absolute delight because it is procedurally generated, which I know nowadays sounds like a bad thing, but it also does something that I found amazing. It has a very simplistic and sort of not very low poly art style, but it's not necessarily graphically complex, but it uses that to its advantage. Both because it makes the ship you're on board feel far more sterile and far more creepy, but also because the camera of your rover is limited in its field of view and in its throughput. So all you have is a black and white grainy screen to interact with a very alien planet. The game has traumatized Brian as well.
Oh boy. Oh my
because
god.
Occasionally things you bring back on board your ship might not want to stay put.
Yeah, folks, if you haven't watched my stream, my videos of this game, basically, when you send down a rover, something can come back with it. And on I think my last video, something started thumping against the inside, and so I locked myself in the bridge, and I just heard this random thump every now and again. And then suddenly something jumped on the window that looked like a kind of spidery thing, and I screamed and killed the game. I think I Alt 4. I think I Alt 4.
Yes.
I think I didn't even...
You Alt F4 out of the game. That thing, by the way, was Jimmy, and he is very friendly and very huggable. He wants to eat your face.
That isn't even the worst that could happen in the game.
Oh, no, I know.
Yeah, no.
No, there are much more things that could happen.
But it's what's amazing about the game is it doesn't just randomly generate the environments; it randomly generates your background. So you're not the same person every time you play. You can be a doctor on the run for you could be a doctor on the run for malpractice. You could be not an excavator, archaeologist looking for ruins. It changes your whole motivation every time you play as well. It's really a brilliant game that I will never ever play again.
And it does have different sort of, not necessarily different endings, but like it has these text blurbs at the end that tell you how things went and how well you did. And there are different, depending exactly on A, what your motivation beforehand was, and B, how well you handled the whole not dying of radiation poisoning thing.
And it's got an amazing interface. Like, you control this.
It's lovely.
Yeah, it's a lovely mouse-based interface that you control your rover and everything, and it makes sense. The rover controls are limited, which you would expect, and that's perfect.
Everything is diegetic.
Yeah, everything just works. And it's... I can't recommend this game enough if you don't get scared as quickly or as easily as I do. If you enjoy some horror, you will probably enjoy this. But if you don't enjoy horror,
a little.
I don't know.
It's not a dedicated horror game.
No, but it has horror in it. It has elements of horror in it enough. I love how the developer calls it a dash of horror. That was enough for me. A soupçon of horror.
Some people have more tolerance than others.
I agree. I have next to no tolerance for horror, next to none. But that is a really good pick. That's an excellent pick because wow, what a game! I've recommended this game to many people over the years. They're like, I'm looking for something fun, procedural, and different. Boom, Scavenger SV4. I've recommended it to many people over the years because it's really unique. Like there really isn't anything else like it, honestly. The closest thing I can think of is there's another drone game.
Huskers, maybe?
Huskers, I think it is, where you're sending probes through a derelict ship and there are aliens there that you have to avoid. Like that's the closest thing.
Yeah.
That sounds like Duskers.
Duskers,
It does involve the same feelings, but it is different.
It is different, but I'm saying that's the closest thing I can think of to the style of gameplay. Yeah. So it's pretty unique. Yeah, guys, this game is great. Scavenger SV4. It's not very expensive. It's $15.
It's great for people who aren't Brian.
Oh, it's terrific for people who aren't me. Yeah, who have a little slightly higher. Even if you have a modicum of tolerance for some horror, you'll probably be okay with this. It is really a great game. I mean, you get really invested. In the search of the planet and the search for stuff, you get really invested. At least I did until I wasn't, like immediately. But yeah,
I want to mention two things in regard to this game. First, it's basically a modern take on a very old game that I played on the C64 back then, and that is Coronis Rift. And this is really a modern take on it. And if you liked that back then, you should try it.
Coronis Rift?
Coronis Rift with K.
Oh,
At the start, yeah. It was one of the first Lucasfilm games. And the second is a question to Jacob. Did you ever get to the city and get the whole story of the planet?
What?
Yeah,
apparently not.
You can find the artifact that's in a very large compound that contains the backstory of the whole planet, the whole history of the planet.
I mean, I found bits of it.
Yeah, bits, but I talk about the whole thing. It's also the most well paid artifact you can get in the game.
Wow, you weren't kidding. I'm looking up Coronis Rift now. I put a link in the chat from Moby Games. Yeah, you're not kidding that it seems it inspired this game, Scavenger, because wow, there's a lot similar here.
I see the resemblance.
I totally see it.
When you are picking up soldiers trying to rescue them, there's a chance that they will be an alien and try to break into your ship when you're playing Coronis Rift.
Oh, wait, that was different games. That was Rescue and Fractalus.
Okay.
That was what?
Rescue on Fractalus.
Came out the same year, apparently. Oh, I've heard of Rescue on Fractalus. I have heard of that game, but I've never played that one.
On the Atari 5200.
Wow.
I had it on the 800 XL, yeah. But yes.
Yeah, it never came out on DOS. That's why I never got around to playing it. Oh, but it was on the TRS-80? What? Okay, that's funny. That's never came out for DOS, but it came out for the TRS-80 color computer in 1987. Like,
yay!
1987's kind of past the prime of the TRS-80. I don't get that, but okay. Sure.
Probably one of the last games that got ported to it.
I'm guessing. It must have been one of the last games that got ported to the TRS-80. I don't think anyone was using TRS-80s then at that point.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Wow. This is why I love talking about this stuff. All right. Jacob, that is an excellent pick. David, what do you got for your first pick?
Yeah, my first pick. Well, I'm going back to 2010, and I wish I had the names of these people I used to play this with. And that's going to be a tower defense game of all things. That's going to be called Solid Survivor. I don't know if the sound cut out there. Sorry.
That's okay.
And it is not one of those tower defense games when you can decide a pathing for your enemies. So you're having specific places where you can place your turrets and all that stuff. But the twist here is that you're playing, well, different loadouts or characters or whatever. So each character has their own turret loadout, so you have to work around with that. If you're playing co-op, though, you can work together, making all kinds of crazy combinations. And that's what we did a group. I think we were 4 people playing. I think we managed maybe to get to 2 hours in Endless or something like that. And yeah, our computers were not that strong, so the frame rates were not that great at the very end of those missions or sessions. But yeah, the tower defense of all things, and the music is pretty good as well. But it pains me to say that Cadenza Interactive has closed down. I think they're quit out of the video game business altogether.
It's interesting.
I really wish the.
It looks like it got a patch or something update, some kind of update back in May of this year.
It did? Oh,
yeah.
I need to check that out then. Maybe they updated it before they closed shop. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. This looks kind of. I'm not really into tower defense, but this looks kind of fun. How is the co-op?
Well, back when I played, I think you could play each campaign mission that I unlocked so far in a co-op session, or otherwise I had the endless co-op that we tried to beat, tried to stay alive as long as possible with.
Oh, this is pretty good.
So I also know that when I stopped playing the game way back, I mean, I have even 83 hours in the game, surprisingly. They actually added the way to make your own character. So it kind of broke all the balance in the game that was already pretty easy to break when it could play co-op. So then you could just make, oh yeah, I'm gonna have all the buffing towers, and you use all the heavy damaging towers, and I'm just gonna buff everything you place out. Okay.
People are still playing this one. Apparently, like there's a review from 2022 and whatnot that people are still loading this up in 2021. That people are still loading this up recently.
Oh, that's nice to hear.
That's
But
great.
yeah, that's something I really liked back then. Yeah, maybe I should do a revisit to the game because this was a special one.
Oh, I'll add it to my wish list. It looks, like I said, I'm not really into tower defense, but this looks pretty enjoyable, especially with co-op. Co-op is a good. I always enjoy some good co-op, as y'all know. All right, so now we're going to move on to our second games, and so it looks like we'll have time for only 2 games, everybody. But my second game came out in 2017, and it's Starfleet Armada Rogue Adventures, which, if you guys haven't played that one, is amazing. You can play that game with just a mouse and like one button if you want to.
Very customizable, and it's
very customizable. But holy crap, you can play that game. I've never gotten too far in it because I'm terrible at it, but I love playing it because there's so many different ways to play it, and you could play it like I think you could probably play this game for hours and hours and months because there's just so much to it. There's planetary exploration. There's all kinds of mini games. There's shipboarding. There's like meta progression with building up your fleet as you go. There's all kinds of encounters. There's like 45 races you could play, and they're all pretty different, really. It's got a bit of Starflight in there. If you like Starflight, there's a bunch of it feels a bit like Starflight and Star Control 2 every now and again. There's just layer upon layer upon layer upon layer of awesome gameplay with this one, and I love it. I load it up every so often to do a planet or a derelict. It is a challenging game, and there's a lot to it. And it's, I think there's something of a learning curve because I think the interface is intentionally very 90s.
I'm looking at it and it looks a bit painful to look at for extended periods.
I'll tell you what though.
Don't let that
stop you. Don't.
Once you get past its odd UI, the UX is amazing.
Yeah. Once you start to click with it, you're like, this all makes sense. This is a brilliant design. Like, it really is an excellent design. You just need to get past that. Oh my God, there's so much of this. But once you start getting used to it and clicking with it, which doesn't take too long because it's pretty straightforward and it's very customizable. It's a really excellent game that you could just lose hours and hours to because there's so much to this game. There's so much to this game. Oh my God. It is a massive, massive, massive game that you could play for probably forever. And the developer's still going. He's made a few games since then that have all been pretty good. But to me, this is the special one. This is the best. I think this is the best they've done. And, this is a terrific, terrific game that I can easily recommend to everyone. Especially, it's only $6-7, like not even on sale. It's just $7. And it goes down to like $3 or $4 every now and again. But it is really an exceptional game that, God, 6 years ago feels like a lifetime ago. But yeah, it came out in 2017. It is really fantastic. I could easily recommend this one. Spaz,
that was actually my third pick.
Oh,
that was my third pick, in fact, which is fine because we were going to cover it anyway.
That works out. David, did you have a question?
Yeah. Is it anything like approaching Infinity? This one?
No,
not really.
No, think of it more as it's got elements more of Starflight and Star Control 2 than anything else, but on a much bigger and more random scale because like you have whole galaxies you're going through, and there's just it's basically the core of it is you're collecting resources to improve your fleet, and to do that you have to do a bunch of mini games. And the mini games are all very engaging and different. And the biggest one is when you go down to a planet with your rover to collect resources, and you can upgrade your rover to, you know, automatically detect minerals and have better shields and stuff like that. So you're basically,
I'm intrigued.
yeah, you're basically collecting stuff to improve your fleet so you can fight off this big enemy and find this rare planet that I've never found. But you also unlock more races the more you play. There's a meta progression in which you unlock more and unique races, and there's like 45 of them, and like they're all pretty different. So, I don't know if, yeah, the closest I could think of is like, imagine if Starflight was a roguelike with a bunch of mini games that helped you collect resources, where you're not only collecting resources from planets, but derelicts, asteroid fields, the sun, space stations, enemy fleets. Like, you have a lot of different ways to improve your fleet and a lot of different ways to collect resources, and they're all fun. So
All right.
that's the best way I can think. It's kind of a hard game to explain, but it's really good. It's really, really good.
I think you really have to play it yourself before you can grok the idea of it, because it has so much going on.
It has a lot going on, yes. But it is,
I don't think you could even watch someone playing it and get the idea of how it plays, because it requires some tactile experience with it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would totally agree with that. 100%. Yeah, that I can't recommend this one enough, guys. It's only $7. It's fantastic. If you don't own it already, get it either now or on sale, depending on your budget. It's great. So Spaz, what's your second game?
Well, my second game came out on Steam in 2013, and it's a roguelike, but it's a unique little roguelike. Weird Worlds Return to Dead Space.
Which I believe, is that the second game in that series or the first?
That is the second game, yes.
Yeah, the second game. Yeah. There's three of them. There's three.
Yeah, Sea of Stars is the third one, and this is the second. And you have all these little events. You go to these planets you're trying to explore and collect resources and upgrade your ship, upgrade your fleet.
Yeah.
And
it's basically Starflight.
Yeah.
It's basically Starflight in 30 minutes. Like,
yeah,
they basically,
it's a coffee break kind of game.
Yeah, it is Starflight in 30 minutes, and it's like they got all the essentials of a game like Starflight: the exploration, the combat, the funny encounters. They got all the essentials, but you can also build a fleet and whatnot. I honestly think this is probably my favorite in the series. Is this one? I mean, I liked all three of them, but this is probably the one I think that gels the best. But they're all really great, all of them, and they're cheap. They're like $5 each. I think, but they've gone as cheap as like $1. But yeah, basically, if like I want to play Starflight or Star Control 2, but I only have a half an hour, there you go. This is the game you play when you don't have 100 hours to play Starflight. You only want to play it on your lunch break. This will give you that Starflight experience really effectively well in a really short amount of time. You got a lot of starts to play with, a lot of different ships. You can upgrade your ships. The writing is actually pretty funny. You have all these different fun weapons you can equip, and you can like I said, you can build up your fleet. I'm talking about it more than you are. Sorry, Spaz. Sorry, this is your game.
No, yeah, lots of artifacts that do different things, and you don't necessarily know what they do until you try to use them.
yeah, it's a really fun game and definitely worth the price. It's like I only have 30 minutes and I want to get like some space exploration in. This would really fit the bill. This would really, really fit the bill. This is an excellent game. Really great pick because that came out a long time ago, like a decade. Wow, a decade ago. Wow.
Well, that was a Steam. It was out pre-Steam earlier than that.
Right. Even it's
like 2008 or 2009.
Yeah, the series has been around for a really long time. And I believe now you can get all the games, all three of them on Steam, I believe. Or at least the first. No, Weird Worlds is on there and Infinite Space 3 is on there. But the first one isn't. Oh, that's interesting. Well, the second one pretty much supersedes the first one in every way anyway.
Yeah.
But those games are $5 each, or you can they go on sale pretty regularly, and those are great.
Actually cheaper. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good
A lot
pick.
of love for that series.
Yeah, that's a really good pick. Julie, what's your second game?
Okay, well, my game, and I think the company may have fallen on hard times since it first came out, but it's from 2015, and the game is called Cosmonautica, and I understand it's had some stability problems on some systems on PC. I haven't personally had the problems, and it is, as one of my favorite reviewers put it, like an FTL-like game. It's from the side on when you manage your crew with the space trading game. I first found this on Android, and I used to play it a lot on Android. And because I really love the art style, and it's got space trading, and just like an FTL, you improve your ship, and there's some space combat, and it's a small little game, and it's kind of a shame that the company has not been able to take it further, but and no, it's not on Steam. I don't think the company even has the wherewithal to do that, but if it was, I'd play it a lot more.
Wait, Cosmonautica? It's on Steam?
Not in Steam. I'm sorry. I'm in Switch.
Oh.
It's not in Switch. It's on Steam, which is where I have to play it now. I first played it on Android, and my Android tablet went the way of all things, as I said, and so now I play portable games on Switch. But this is on PC still and on Steam, and I like it because of the art style, and it's not the kind of thing, as the reviewer, who's the host here, pointed out, that I can play long term. But when I want to just sit down and play something for a little while with a break, like I've got a break at work and I want to get my mind off the garbage at work and all the problems, I can play a few minutes of this. So, but mostly I love the art style. It's the artwork that kind of drew me to the game.
Yeah, it's got a really charming art style. It really has a very charming art style.
And it's got humor to it, and it's like, it's not going to replace anything, and it's not the next FTL. It's just kind of a little unknown game, but I enjoyed it.
No, that is a good pick. That came out a long time ago. My God, 2015. Oh my God, that's my God.
And it's a little 5-person company, and I'm sure if there were more people in the company and had more financial resources, they could have polished the game a little more on PC, because it started on Android, and maybe they could have done more with it. But I still like it.
They're still kicking though. I've noticed I looked them up on Steam. They've had some games come out since then, like Halls of Torment, Good Company. They've got a couple games that have come out since
Halls
then.
of Torment is recent, very recent.
Yeah,
in fact.
Yeah, that one's really recent. So it was Good Company came out last year, but Halls of Torment, I believe, came out a few months ago. Yeah, May.
And it's got a lot better reviews than their other one, but it's like I said, it's the art style, and it's one of these sit down and play for a few minute things, which is what I liked about it.
Yeah. No, it is good for short. I don't know why. There's something like I wasn't interested in playing it over the long haul, but for like a quick break game, yeah, I could totally see that, 100%.
Yeah, which is why it was like at work, I got a 15-minute break. I'm going to sit down with a cup of coffee and my Android and play a few minutes of this, which is how it first came to my attention. So
Hang on a
not portable anymore, unfortunately, unless you one of the dinosaurs that
Hang
still
on. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves.
So basically, that's it. There's a lot of games that I wish they could have taken it farther, and I guess they moved on to other things. But this is one of my little portable now and then just go to it things. So maybe we should go to the next person now.
Yeah. Let's do
Yeah,
that.
no problem. My second pick is actually a game from 2015, and that is Satellite Rain.
Ooh.
Oh,
Ooh.
If you don't know Satellite Rain, it's basically a take on the old Bullfrog game Syndicate, and but much better.
Oh, really?
In any regard.
Oh my god, I own it and I've never played it. Oh, I hate that. Oh man.
Oh,
I know the feeling.
that's a really great game, and if you loved the original Syndicate, that's a game for you, definitely.
I loved Syndicate. I played the hell out
to
of
be
it.
fair, it does have some bugs, even in the tutorial.
Oh.
I tried playing it again earlier this year to try to see whether or not it would work in co-op, because I would have suggested it for co-op for us. But here's the problem. One of my characters got stuck in the tutorial, and I couldn't finish the tutorial because they got stuck in the train.
Oh, shit.
Oh, really?
Shit.
That can happen. Now, I don't think that it should be downvoted negative because of that. That kind of thing does have some issues, but the concept is great, and I got a lot of time in with it. Dozens of hours in it.
Ooh, I'll have to try it because I loved Syndicate. I played the hell out of both original Syndicate games. So for some reason, I never got around to this one. I will definitely have to be installing this soonish. Because, yeah, I loved Syndicate. This looks great. Ooh, open world too.
It is really open world, yeah, and you have
It's
multiple
pretty
ways
nice.
to solve the issues presented in the missions that you have.
Oh, I enjoy that. I enjoy when they give you like multiple ways to solve a thing. I always enjoy that. Co-op is super laggy, Luke says. Oh, that's a shame.
Now, I never played it in co-op, so I couldn't tell you.
I mean, if one of you guys gets stuck in the tutorial, like
Right? Yeah.
like shit, crap is bad when something happens in the tutorial. Like this isn't the game's fault, but it's my fault. There's a tank game called Miu's Front, I believe, and I'm so bad at it, I turned the tank over in the tutorial. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to play this again. I flipped the tank over. I'm like, yeah, this is for me. I will check this out though, because I mean, if I can get it to work, at least it looks like my kind of jam. Honestly, that's a good pick. That's a good pick because I had completely forgotten about that one.
That's also a good would be a good game for the Monday streams. By the way,
Oh, it's not space though.
if you okay.
But if the co-op worked, I could see it working for Friday for the Friday streams. Absolutely. Jacob, what do you got for your second game?
Oh boy, I am swimming in options here.
I know it's tough. There's a lot of good options. It was tough for me to pick 2 or 3.
You know what? I am not. Let it be known, I am not the person to go for unsafe choices. There's this delightful little thing called Rox Operative 2.
what? No.
This delightful little game that I'm sure we haven't rambled on about until everyone's deaf, and yet still no one seems to actually play it. So yes, welcome, dear podcast listeners, new and all, to me telling you why Droxop 2 is brilliant, because that's something we tend to do roughly once every month. So, have you ever wanted to play a 4X game, but wanted to just play one guy in the 4X game, but also wanted to impact how the 4X game plays out? That's that's Droxel. You're essentially playing Space Diablo, a space action RPG with loot and monsters to blow up and all sorts of stuff. While in the background, there is an entire set of various space factions that are trying to usually murder each other. Now, what your goal is? Well, there's a few different victory conditions, and your goal is to get to one of them. You can influence factions diplomatically. You can bombard them to hell and back yourself. You can buy and sell stuff. You can support them economically. You can support if there's a war going on. You can support the stronger faction or the weaker faction to keep it balanced. You get to play the Space Illuminati with a heavily armed warship, and it's very fun.
And co-op.
Yep, and it does have co-op.
We've played it in co-op a lot. Actually.
Yeah.
Yes, the co-op is janky, but I like it.
It is a bit weird. It is a bit weird, but I mean, it works. It's just a bit strange because it doesn't really it is and it isn't co-op because there's no compulsion to stay together at all. There's no compulsion at all to do anything actively cooperatively. You're just like, oh, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go over here. It's kind of great. You can all go off and do your own thing. That's kind of nifty. But at the same time, it's like, oh, it's just I'm playing a single player game with a couple people that actually have to be here, that are actually also here doing their own thing.
Well, the trick with that is you do get more experience when you fight together because you share experience when you're fighting in the same area.
Right.
But otherwise, you can go off and do your own thing, and that also lets you take on more objectives at once.
Agreed.
Which is the main reason to split up.
Right. I mean, it is a terrific game that for some reason I don't know why I stopped playing it. I don't have an explanation as to why I just for some reason stopped playing it. It's an excellent game. I have nothing bad to say about it, but for some reason I moved on to other things. I don't even know why. I don't know.
So many choices.
What I recall, you said there were just other games that got your interest, and that's it.
Yeah. I think there are just other games that pulled me in harder than this one. I'm not saying this is a bad game in any sense of the word. It is not a bad game. It is a terrific game. There are just, I guess, other games I click with harder, I guess, which is weird because I love ARPGs and I love space games, but my favorite ARPG is not a space one. It's kind of a space one.
The other thing you said at the time was Burnout.
Yeah.
You played it so hard you burned out on it.
That is true.
And then other stuff caught your interest and you just never got back to it.
And I think I'm still feeling that burnout because just thinking about playing it, I'm like, ugh. I think I'm still under that burnout of it, which is not unusual for me. When I get burned out of the game, no, it's not the game's fault at all. No, not the game's fault at all. No, it's an excellent game if you guys like ARPGs and 4X games. You're basically playing, like Jacob said, inside one. It's excellent. Excellent choice. Excellent choice. David, why don't you bring us home with your last choice?
Yeah, I'm starting to think here I should probably fling a coin here or something like that. Because both games are coming from the same developer. Both are featuring a red button. Both are in the dark, either a bunker or a cave. I don't know. Should I fling a coin or not? I don't know.
So what you're telling us, you have a type.
Yeah, exactly. Well then, I guess I can go with DEF CON then.
DEF CON.
Oh!
That's a classic.
Classic from
Introversion.
I'm guessing. Let me guess. Your other option was Uplink.
No, Scanner Sombre.
Ah!
The LiDAR display, the LiDAR thingamajig actually has a red button as well. So yeah.
Yes. Now
It checks out.
DEFCON is Have you ever wanted to just play 20 minutes of existential dread?
Yeah.
That was also not a 4X. That was also a strategy game. Have you ever wanted to play like 20 minutes of a strategy game that's also existential dread?
Yeah.
Oh man.
So I guess when I was playing this game, I was probably not old enough in my head or something like that. Like, oh yeah, this is pretty cool. But then you start hearing the cuffs and the sighs, and yeah, in the background, well, you heard a loud explosion rumbling on. So it does things.
Yeah, I
The
never.
tagline is "Everybody dies."
Yeah,
I'm not exaggerating.
I own this game, but it's one I don't know how I got it. Probably through a bundle or something. I will probably never play it because I looked at the trailer. I'm like, wow, that looks depressing. Cold War like nuclear shit has always freaked me out. You know, so it's always made me scared and depressed. So it's like, yeah, I'm not going to play this one.
Au contraire, it's probably my favorite horror genre of horror. And it is horror.
It is horror. That's exactly why I can't deal with it. It is a very deep, primal type of horror that I have a hard time dealing with. And you're absolutely right.
It is genuinely like Eldritch. It is the fear of something so much greater than you. You cannot fully understand it.
Yeah. Speaking of DEF CON as well, I don't know if I may pull the plug, but DEF CON, Polygon has a pretty good video on that game. I guess it's almost 5 minutes long or something like that, explaining just that. It's secretly a horror game. Well, not really a secret because we're talking about nuclear weapons. So, yeah.
It's inspired by the film War Games, so it says, and it's like, wow, that's a movie that could have turned on a dime to a very different ending.
Which is kind of the point of the movie.
Exactly.
I mean, we've seen the ending. We've watched what was it called? Doctor Strangelove.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
We know exactly what the other ending could have been.
Yeah, on the beach is the one that got me. I don't know if you guys know about that one. That's the one that ruined me for this forever. Have you guys ever heard of On the Beach? It was a book and a movie.
Nope.
Basically, it takes place after the war happened, and basically the nuclear radiation is creeping down from Russia and from America. It's taking over the world basically, and it takes place in Australia, where the last remnants of human beings are surviving before the radiation comes to them. And it's such a dark movie. Like, half of it's on a submarine because like they're getting a signal from San Francisco or something. And so they take the submarine to San Francisco. They crawl through the rubble and they find that there's like a loose Coke bottle flipping a switch in the wind that was flipping this switch. So they thought they might find survivors, and it was just debris flicking a switch. And then at the end, everyone takes a suicide pill and kills themselves because the radiation's coming.
Spoilers.
Yeah, it is such a horror movie. Oh my God. So yeah, whenever I think that's why I can't deal with this kind of nuclear Cold War stuff, because that movie wrecked me. They made us read it and watch it in high school, and so I couldn't avoid it. It wrecked me. I had nightmares for weeks.
Considering the sort of traumatizing nonsense high school reading has given me, yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Now, I will agree, it has probably made you a fuller person having read and watched it. But also, what the hell?
Yeah, no, not disagreeing. I have a better appreciation for certain things, but oh my God, it is tough. It is a tough one. It is a tough one. So yeah, that's why I've never played this game. I look at it and I'm like, no, no. I am new. Unless I hate myself, unless I want to feel like. Not a lot of games give me this feeling of existential dread, and I don't want games to give me a feeling of existential dread. And I feel like if I play this one, I'm like, nothing matters, man. Nothing matters at all. What am I doing here?
If I want existential dread, I'll just turn on the news.
Yeah, right? Right, I'll get up in the morning.
That is an argument to be had. We don't need threats of nuclear annihilation anymore. We have other problems.
I'll say though, I'm glad this game exists. It looks like a great game. I'm sure a lot of people love it. It's got very positive reviews. People are like, it looks like people are still playing it. There's 10 people playing it right now.
Mad lads.
That's amazing.
Holy crap.
That's amazing. It came out in 2006. Wow. That's what, 17 years old? Damn. Wow. So good choices today, everyone. Really good choices. I am very, very proud of everyone. You all did a great job with this weird topic I came up with out of my butt. So well done. Speaking of weird,
when
weird,
you have people on the gaming podcast talk about games, works out pretty well.
Speaking of weird topics coming out of my butt, next week is another topic I decided. We're going to talk about, hopefully we can make this one work, essential gaming hardware. What are what are things that like you need or love that help you with gaming? It could be anything from a gaming mouse to a specific joystick in my case, that kind of thing. So we're going to talk about like pieces of gaming hardware we can't live without. That's going to be our next topic for next week. What am I playing tomorrow? I don't even remember. What am I playing tomorrow? It's a game called Asteroids Starfields, which looks like a third-person Asteroids clone. Sure.
Interesting.
It just came out. It's like $4. So hopefully it's good. But great picks today, everyone. Well done. And chat, thank you for being so awesome. Great chat today. With that, we will see you back here tomorrow and next week for the podcast. There's this list of games will also be on the post on spacegamejunkie.com with the MP3 for this episode. So if you missed something, don't worry, it'll be on the site. And sorry, my brain melting. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Great chat as always. If you haven't gotten vaccinated yet, please do so. Especially if you're in the States, boosters are becoming available. The new variant of booster. Please get vax and boosters. Get your flu shot. Get all the shots because that's how we're going to survive. Thank you as always to our patrons who help literally keep the lights on around here. And with that, we'll see you back here tomorrow for whatever the hell this asteroid Starfield, whatever that is. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.